Alright guys, it's Ragtag here, and man, I have wrestled so much with whether or not to make this video. I've been thinking about it all day long, not knowing exactly how to put this or word it, because I don't want to deviate from the plan, which is to create entertainment. That is my comedy skits, my shouting at the game, or narrating the Apex tales. But I've seen how the Respawn devs have been responding to people in Reddit on the posts and whatnot, and I just vehemently disagree with it, and I feel like I've got to come out of character now and give them some feedback, because I don't believe that the state of the game in terms of how they're making money is going to, well, I don't think the game will survive if they keep doing this. So let me just back up before we do this and I want to talk to the haters first of EA, the people that basically have a no entry sign on any game that they put the stamp on, whether they developed it or not. Nothing I can say is going to change your opinion, guys. This is a feedback video, so if you've been burned and you've watched others get burned to the point where you feel like every time someone complains, you're going to step in, remind them all that they're gullible losers, you might be right in this case, that, people are gullible if they buy, cosmetics, and why do we have the right to complain? Well, the reason I feel like we've got the right to complain is because the game requires successful monetization to be able to survive and receive updates. So I think feedback is actually useful. But I totally get that, if you want to just hands down say you're enabling the tyrant by playing this game, you've no right, well, that's fine. But some of that black and white talk is a little bit like an aggressive vegan. You've got a good heart, you are trying to make a change, but a lot of people, don't really want to hear the way you've got to say what you're saying, because it isn't going to change anything. You cannot change the world just by saying, everyone stop buying EA. You can't stop a corporation like that unless everyone does it, which is why I used the vegan analogy. It's going to be very difficult to suddenly turn around and stop everyone from eating meat. It's not going to happen. Right, so let me just turn your attention to the Iron Crown event loot boxes, which you already know. You can only earn 2 of them, which leaves 22 left, and they are 700 Apex coins a pop, which is disgusting in terms of how much they're charging. But again, hey, you could just say, ignore anything that you don't like. You're getting the base game for free. You're getting the event. It's all right. Stop complaining. Again, I'm looking to improve how the content comes across, and I want the player base to be happy, and I want everyone to, have some kind of happy medium, and I think that is possible. So if we look at one of the Respawn dev comments, they've said here, there is a wealth of data available on how monetization works in free-to-play games, and we ourselves have run tests by putting skins on sale in the store. The amount of people who spend is crazy low. Most of y'all are freeloaders, and we love that. And a change in price doesn't move the needle. So I'd like to basically start with this one, because this is the one that, well, I did clench my fist and slam the desk a little bit when I saw it, because I thought that this was fairly antagonizing to call most of your player base freeloaders, and then after your passive-aggressive derogatory term, I know this is a joke, by the way, Respawn dev who said this, I realise you're just having a wink and a nod, but it just didn't come across very well because of how much backlash you've been getting. You put in brackets that you love that. That's great, because, you want people to be able to enjoy the game for free. I actually get that the heart is definitely in the right place. It's just the wording absolutely fucking sucks here. But look, I want to draw your attention to the first sentence, which is, there is a wealth of data available on how monetization works in free-to-play games. Yes, there is. And the model must surely change given the game type and, what you're selling. You're selling cosmetics. You're selling cosmetics in a first-person game. So a first-person shooter means that you're not going to see the actual skin of the legend itself. So the stress should surely be on the weapons, which you are doing in the season battle passes. So you've got the Golden Havoc on the first season, which was friggin' awesome, by the way. I absolutely love it. I wasn't so happy about the fact that there was a bug for ages, weeks and weeks of this goddamn green shadow that just happened. But the fact that you were getting rewarded for getting more eliminations is such a cool thing, and in my opinion is the way to go. I think it's a really, really cool feature, and you've done it again. Season 2, well done. R301 looks amazing. In fact, I think the iron one looks even better than the golden flashy one. I love the molten lava effect. I think this sort of implementation on the skins is a great reward. So when you say you've run these tests by putting skins on sale in the store, what you've actually done is you've taken a skin that would cost 1,800 coins and, you know, slash it by a third and then let it cost 1,200 coins or 1,300. I can't do the maths right now. But all that does is force people to buy the same amount of coins anyway. So if it's 1,000 coins or 2,000 coins that you buy in terms of the packs, that's all you can do. Making someone pay 33% less still means they have to buy the 2,000 coins, and you might be thinking, oh, well, that's all right. They've got some left over so they can buy some more. People don't think like that. They just look at the amount they actually have to pay for the thing that they want. So that's issue number 1 I have by your benchmark of how skins sales work in the store. The other thing that is the problem, if you look at the skins now, they are awesome. I love your Captain Jack Sparrow Mirage skin. I think that's great. The Wraith one is absolutely amazing. I love that crimson armor. Looks very vampiric to me. The Bangalore skin that came out not too long ago, that rare one, these all look amazing. I'm loving them. Absolutely great. Now compare that to the skins you were selling before. The legendary ones, where if you've got an option for how many skins legendary wise did each have? Is it 4? Between 4 and 6 or something like that. Mostly 4 I think it was originally. 2 of them would be a recolor, so not great. It would be the same model but have different, you know, colors on it, and that is not appealing. The other thing that's not appealing is if you carbon copy this sort of boatload of stuff where I'm going to have a paper mache version of this gun and put it on every single other one, and then you do the same, give everyone a carbon fiber skin on the legends themselves, you're actually filling up all of the cosmetic options with junk, and people can see right through it. It's no good. You just can't get away with it. So if you then think about how the monetization works, I'm assuming that the dev was referring, or at least nodding towards, the categories of people who, you know, who you've got. So you've got the people that are, let's put it in quotation marks, the freeloaders. Then you've got people who spend a little bit, maybe the bare minimum. Then you've got people like me who will buy the battle pass, and maybe now and again if something comes up that I really like, then I'll go for it. And if there's a good sale on something, I would basically assess its worth and then decide if I'm going to put the money down onto it. And then you get the whales. Now the whales are the ones that will snap everything up that you've got to offer, and scarcity is basically their best friend. So something that is much harder to get, or, you know, it's going to look much more impressive when they run around, then they want that. They want that feeling of, yeah, you can't get this because you ain't got no cash. And that's fine. I don't mind the existence of that sort of, you know, mentality. But if you don't have anything to offset it against with the rest of the player base, then everyone's just going to get angry when they see how shite the rest of the skins are, but all of a sudden there's some really good ones, but they're only available for a certain amount of time. Then obviously you can understand there's going to be some backlash. So how can Respawn suddenly, you know, create something that everyone would be happy with? I think what I would be doing is lifting the cap, the level cap for starters, and then do what Overwatch have done, which is when an event comes, change the loot boxes from standard Apex packs to Iron Crown Apex packs that have the same chance as a legendary as anything else. Like you got your 6% or whatever it is, and yeah, you can keep your 700 coins for the, you know, for those that are the high rollers or whatnot, but allow people the chance. Isn't it better to have a 1 to 5% chance at a legendary item or whatever than, you know, than having no chance whatsoever? Imagine getting to level 100 and then going, yeah, that's actually your lot. I'm afraid that you're done now. One of my favorite things that people say to me often is, you know, they'll ask me how many packs I bought to get Wraith's Kunai, and I always just say, yeah, I didn't even know what it was until I opened an Apex pack one day, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I just opened it and all 3 things just popped out at me. Can't remember what it is. You get an heirloom and you get the banner, and I don't know what the other thing is, but yeah, that shows you how much I know about this game. Yeah, I realised that is one of the scarcity items that whales will go for. You'll get your 500 packs, or you won't have to buy that many maybe, but for some people, yeah, it is just that. If you didn't know, 500 packs I think is the maximum. I think you were guaranteed Wraith's heirloom after that many. But yeah, so look, I saw the dev reply to some other people as well, and he was, you know, calling some people dicks and asshats and stuff like that, and that starts to feel a little bit like indie Steam developers that reply to the first thumbs down that they see, you know, when you say, what the fuck do you know about coding and development and all that kind of thing. I think you just have to be very careful that you don't alienate your audience, and this is one of the things I'm actually kind of worried about right now. I don't really want that separation. I thought that Respawn were pretty good at communicating the problems that they were having. and it feels like it's got out of control right now. This isn't even a community manager, the guy that's doing it. Is it Drew? I think he's the Respawn producer. Anyway, when the backlash first came out about all of this, saying, you know, this is ridiculous, this pricing and all the rest of it, they came out and said that they would then make the items available in the in-game store, which is, we've already discussed about that in terms of how, you know, the sales are no good for people that have to buy things in packs of 1,000. But one thing that they did say, that this was not a decision made in any way other than to fix the broken promise we made to everyone at launch about providing choice on how players can get items. This doesn't mean every item is available for grind or purchase or Apex pack, but providing only Apex packs for the Iron Crown skins was a misstep on our part. So they're basically saying that they wanted to have at least two ways of getting it, one via the pack, the other via the shop. Now, what I would like to see is some way to appease the whales and the everyday average player. I don't want the whales to feel like their money has been misspent, and I don't want the everyday players to feel like that they have reached a ceiling in which, you know, they can actually achieve or earn things. It would just be a massive shame. If the people who play for free, basically, are unhappy, they'll leave. And those who are window shopping and will buy occasionally, they might just stop buying altogether. If you don't get the balance right, you don't have a player base, and your whales don't even matter, because what's the point in having scarcity if you don't even have a fucking player base? So I think there needs to be a better balance than the one we've got now. I don't believe this is it. I don't believe that having expensive loot boxes and then separate items on sale in the store is going to create the revenue and a happy player base. But I am just one player. But I can tell you that when people say that when the devs say the needle doesn't shift if they put something on a better sale, I call bullshit. You put something less than 1,000 coins and maybe you will start to see people will buy. I guess it's worth also saying that whales bring in a massive amount of revenue for companies that do free-to-play games. They make such a huge profit from these guys. I don't know if you've seen it in the headlines before, but people dump in like $50,000 into this game and $10,000 into that one. Yeah, so a small amount of players can have a huge impact on the revenue. So I do understand that appealing to the middle ground isn't always the best idea, but you can definitely stop people from hating your fucking guts by making it blatantly obvious that you want the whales to buy this stuff. And making the event really short, the 2-week thing, just seems like a real shame because there's so much loot there to offer. I also put it to you that the legend skins, the values of them are not as high given that you can't see them. So if you can only see them at the moments when you die, you see your arse in black and white, and when you do a finisher on someone, and when you are in the character select screen, that's pretty much it. So the value of the skin itself goes down. I think the value of the weapons could be really, looked into, and would probably be worth more, in my opinion, as an FPS game player. Alright, look, I could go on about this probably all day. I might make another video on it if you want. There's plenty more I can say, but what I can say right now is I've put money into the game. This is one of the buggiest games I've ever played in my entire life. This is just as buggy as these, FPS matchmaking systems where there was no dedicated server. Someone would join and they would be the host. That is how buggy it feels to me. The fact that we're still getting Code Leaf and Code Net and all that kind of thing, I think it's probably one of the reasons that a lot of people have quit. The fact that there's too much inconsistency. So if you add in the history of the fact that this is published by EA, the amount of stuff that just took a while to get fixed, or, there's just lots and lots of issues with the game, the monetization model not being perfect, you will expect some backlash. And the way that it's been dealt with, I don't think people have been too happy with it. So I'm not trying to say, please give everything away for free, because I am happy to pay for what I think, is good value. But I just don't think we have that middle ground. And if you only appeal to the whales, I think everyone's going to fucking leave. However, having said all of that and had such a good whinge, I love this game. I think this is the best Battle Royale game in existence. I have had so many good games, so many good nights, so many unforgettable moments that I believe this can be turned around. I believe that the comments that were made by the developers can, be washed away. And I think that, there is hope. There is definitely hope for this. But at the same time, I know that this could just blow up and everyone will just abandon it. So, Respawn devs, please, please keep the game alive and appease the players and listen to them and ignore the bullshit and do what you do best and make an awesome game. Take it easy, shut your fucking mouth, catch you in the next one. Later.